music for a child's heart, body, and mind.
Hi, good morning, Onyx class. How are you doing today? I want to believe you had a good time with the last class. So we'll be having another mathematics class today, which will be a continuation of what we started the last time. I would like you to pay attention and always watch all the steps, even as I teach today. Join me as we start today's mathematics class. Alright, the last time we started profit and loss, so we're still going to continue and conclude it today. So we want to look at more examples. Last time we looked at how we can find profit or loss. So we want to look at other ways that question can be set under profit and loss. So we have a question on the board here. I would like us to read through, interpret it, and then solve. Sandra bought 5 apples for 100 naira. She bought 5 apples, all the 5 apples for 100 naira, okay? She later sold them at the rate of 15 naira per apple. So I need us to read it bit by bit so we can have a good understanding of the question. Now, find her profit or loss. Before we can tell if there is a profit or loss in this transaction, we need to actually identify our cost price and our selling price. All right. Sandra bought 5 apples for 100 naira. Bought means the cost price. That's what it cost Sandra to buy all the 5 apples. So what do you say? Cost price is what? 100 naira. That's for all. Good, let's move on. She later sold them at the rate of 15 naira. So sold. So this 15 naira here is the selling price. But there is a word you need to take note here. Per apple. 15 naira per apple means 15 naira for just one apple. And don't forget, we're talking about 5 apples in all. So this 15 naira is the selling price for just one apple. So what do you say? Selling price for one apple gives you 15 naira. But that is not what we need. We need the selling price for all the apples she sold. So how do you achieve that? You now say what? Selling price for 5 apples, which is the total number of apples, will not be what? That 5 number of apples times the price of 1, 15. How will that give you? It will give you 75 naira. So in this transaction, her cost price is 100 naira, while the selling price is 75 naira, not 15. 15 is the selling price for 1, but we need the selling price for all, which is 75 naira. So let's compare. Cost price is 100, selling price is 75. Cost price is bigger than selling price, which means there is a loss. You can still remember what I told you in the last class. That once cost price is bigger than selling price, there is a loss. So in this case, there is a loss. So we can confidently say loss is what? Cost price minus selling price. So what do we have? That gives us 100 minus 75. And our answer is what? 25 naira. So what happens? Sandra made a loss of what? 25 naira. Number 2. Adams bought 3 cartons of Indomie for 200 naira per carton. Take note of the word per carton or for 1 carton. We need to take note of that when we see it in the question. And sold them at the rate of 250 naira per carton. That's the selling price for 1 carton as well. Find his profit or loss. So let's identify our cost price and selling price before we can tell if there is a profit or a loss. Okay? So Adam bought 3 cartons of Indomie for this price. So this is a cost price because this is bought. The 200 naira is the cost price, but this happens to be a cost price for just 1 carton because it's saying 200 naira per carton. But don't forget, in all, we have how many cartons? 3 cartons. So what do you say? Cost price for 1 carton is what? 200 naira. But that is not what we need as our cost price. We need the cost price for all. So what do you now say from here? Therefore, cost price for the 3 cartons. At least the 3 cartons will now be what? 3 times the price for 1. That's 3 times 200. That will give you what? 600 naira. Okay? So now let's move on to selling price. and sold them at this rate. So this is selling price, but this is per carton. So this 250 happens to be selling price for one carton. So what do you say? Selling price for one carton will give you what? 250 naira. So what we need as our selling price will be the selling price of the 3. So what do you say again? Therefore, selling price for the 3 cartons will now be what? 3 times the selling price of 1. That's 250. So that gives you what? 750 naira. So we can see that our cost price now is what? 600 naira, and our selling price is what? 750 naira. So let's compare. Selling price is greater than cost price, so there is a profit. So we can confidently say profit is what? SP minus CP. So what would that give us? 750 minus 600, and our final answer is what? 150 naira profit. So Adams made a profit of 150 naira after carrying out this transaction. Example 3, this is another dimension of question. If John sold a book for 150 naira and made a profit of 60 naira, find his cost price. Alright, if you look at it very well, selling price is given, profit is as well given, and you have to find cost price. But let me explain this. Before you attempt a question like this, make sure you still take note of what I told you the first day. That for profit, selling price is always bigger than cost price. While for loss, cost price is bigger than selling price. So to solve question like this, there are basically 2 things we do. It's either we add or we subtract. Okay? Don't forget that we subtract to get a smaller number. But when we add, we get a bigger number. So what you do in this case is try to know what you are being asked. If it's a bigger part, then you add. But if it's a smaller part, then you subtract. You understand what I'm saying now? So let's take example that we have on the board. If John sold a book for 150 naira, that's selling price, right? Which is 150 naira, and made a profit of 60 naira. So this 60 naira is profit. Okay? Which is what? 60 naira. Now you have to find the cost price, that's the CP. We don't know it. Alright. Looking at the board now, you can know that profit is recorded in this transaction. And don't forget, for profit, selling price is always bigger, cost price is smaller, isn't it? So since cost price is what we are looking for and is a smaller part of it, you subtract the remaining 2. Don't forget, I told you that when you are looking for a smaller part, you subtract. When you are looking for a bigger part, you add. Because we add to get a bigger number, we subtract to get a smaller number. So since it is profit, and in profit, SP is always bigger, CP is smaller. So what we are looking for is CP, which is a smaller part of it. So to get a smaller part, subtract the other 2 parts. So what do I mean? Cost price will now give you what? Selling price minus profit. So cost price gives you what? 150 minus 60. So the cost price will now be what? 90 naira. So the cost price for this book that John sold is 90 naira. And there's a way to check. And how do you check? Selling price, which is 150, minus cost price, which is now 90 naira, must give you profit, which is 60 naira. That is our answer. Okay, let's take another one. Find how much Olu sold a bag he bought for 2,000 naira if he made a loss of 50 naira. So look at it. We should find how much Olu sold. That means we have to find selling price. And we are told he bought it for this. So this is the cost price. So the first thing you have here is what? Cost price is what? 2,000 naira. And then he made a loss of 50. So loss is also given as what? 50 naira. But we have to find the selling price, which is what? SP. So what do you do in this case? The first thing you need to notice is that there is a loss. So we are talking of loss here. And when there is a loss, cost price is bigger. Selling price is always smaller, isn't it? So what we are looking for is selling price, which is a smaller part of it. And we always subtract to get a smaller part. So what do you quickly do? You say selling price gives you what? Cost price minus loss. Because selling price is a smaller part, so we are subtracting. So So the selling price now becomes what? 2,000 naira minus 50 naira. And what would that give you? It gives you what? 1,950 naira. So this is what? The selling price of the bag Olu bought. Alright, the last question for today, number 5. Halima recorded a loss of 20 naira after selling a ruler for 120 naira. How much did she buy the ruler? She recorded a loss. So the first thing you have here is what? Loss of 20 naira. So you note that loss is what? 20 naira. After selling a ruler for this, so this is your selling price. Selling price is also given as what? 120 naira. Now we have to find how much she bought it. That's her cost price. How much did she buy the ruler? We have to find what it cost her to get the ruler. That's her cost price, which we don't know. Alright, the first thing we need to bear in mind is that there is a loss. So when there is a loss, don't forget a loss. CP is always bigger, SP is smaller. So we have our SP, we have to find CP, which is the bigger part. And don't forget we add to get bigger numbers. So since we are looking for CP, the bigger part, we need to add other things together. So CP becomes what? SP plus loss. We're adding now because we're looking for CP, which is bigger under loss. So CP now gives you what? 120 naira plus 20 naira. So the CP becomes what? 140 naira. So this, how much she bought the ruler. And there's a way to check. How do you check? Don't forget, loss is CP minus SP. So if you do CP 140 minus SP 120, it will give you 20 naira, which is what? The loss. Alright, Onyx, that will be all for this morning. I can always tell you, watch over several times to ensure you understand the content of the lesson. Check for your classwork and your homework and submit as at when due. Thank you. Bye for now.